Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
Fine.
Excellent. Good morning, our favorite Nigerian wife.
Good morning,
in
OG.
beautiful pink. How are you this morning?
Very well,
Perfect.
very well. I told you always light up my morning, so
Yes.
better when I see you.
Thank you. Good morning, Rufai. We are not
Morning,
matching.
OG.
Don't worry. Not today. How are you,
sorry.
Rufi,
I
on
have to-
fire?
I have to clean my glasses.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I thought you were matching.
So let's begin what's trending. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending here in Lagos State, where heavy rains, which lasted several hours on Wednesday, resulted to severe flooding, which took over many residential areas and grounded vehicular movement on major roads. The floods submerged homes in the Ibeju-Lekki area of the state and also brought down a two-story building in the Mushin area of the state. While thousands of residents have been affected by the floods, while some pupils could not attend schools in some parts of the state. While the Lagos state government said the rain lasted for 9 hours, several videos showed commuters submerged in the floods, while some miscreants made makeshift bridges to extort commuters and charge 100 Naira to carry people through floodwater.
I swear, the water is entering my pants. People are even backing themselves. Who will back me like this? How much for backing? Hey, what is this like this? God. Hey. Jesus. God, what is this? What is this? Oh, yeah, more go fast. Hey. Keep your phone on.
200 crossing, 200 crossing, 200 crossing. Ojo people.
100 Naira long back. Láì wọ mọ́tò. They are collecting 100 Naira on each person to take this passage. This is straight fare under bridge. Pay 100 Naira before you can take the passage. And we have presidents in this country. We have President Tinubu. Look at their faces.
Well, all right, Dr. Abati, Vimbai, Rufai, you guys had the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, here, and, he was able to answer some of your questions. And I'd like for us to discuss, some of his answers as well. Rufai, I love the fact that you brought up that topic about that, communication with the media to alert people. But also what is most important that I took away from that video was what you said as well just now about cholera. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has warned the federal government and state government to provide clean drinking water, right, especially right now. But also, Dr. Abati, you posed the question to Tokunbo Wahab about the tweet that he made. Let me just read that tweet properly so that our viewers will understand what's going on. Well, the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Tokunbo Wahab, has reaffirmed his commitment to removing structures obstructing the free flow of rainwater. Wahab was responding to a post on X that questioned if the demolition of Igbo-owned properties and businesses in Lagos was politically motivated. The post was made by Pure Stanley. He wrote, "Can we all now agree that the Igbo-owned property and business demolition we witnessed in Lagos 2023 was all politically engineered? And we were told that some of the buildings were built on canals, thereby blocking the flow of water and causing flooding in Lagos." Tokunbo Wahab, can you explain to us why there was a flood in Lagos again yesterday and the early hours of today after going on a demolition spree on Igbo's own properties? Take the microphone, sir. We await your response. Well, responding to that post, Tokunbo Wahab wrote, "Many more structures obstructing the free flow of rainwater in Lagos will still be removed, irrespective of who or highly placed the owners are. Prepare your mind to make your usual aimless and empty noise. If turning it into ethnic narrative makes you happy, go ahead." I believe he also said that, they knew that this flash flood was going to happen. And then, yesterday, July 3rd, it happened for about 3 hours. This particular conversation about, the drainage channel and the canals, Dr. Abati, what is your take on that actual response that Tokunbo Wahab gave you in terms of removing structures
Okay, yesterday was a tough day in Lagos. Even churches were not spared. Even Osapa, London, where the upper middle class live, was not spared. One church in Ojo, the flood even had no respect for the house of God. The church was flooded, almost to the roof. So the problem exists. Now, on the question of drainages, the Commissioner for Environment was very clear. He said, look, anybody that contravenes the law, whether you are from Igbo land or you are highly placed in society or you are lowly placed in society, the law will take its course. He has been very consistent in that regard. But the politics of it is what the Lagos State government has to worry about. My position on it is that, look, Sanwo-Olu did not create this problem of flood. He can only manage it. When another governor comes after him, we'll still deal with the same problem. Okay. But, how they manage it is to be sensitive to what, how they go about it. The second thing about, water level, climate change and all of that, he made the point that in many of these areas, what we have is what he called flash flood. Yeah. That flash flood, according to him, will recede within 2 to 3 hours. But so much damage will have been done within the 2-3 hours, before the 2-3 hours when the water will recede. I guess this is part of the problem of urbanization that we have to live with. I also asked the commissioner whether the people who were doing quick business, carrying people and setting up bridges will be punished. He said no. So speaking to the creativity of Nigerians, when, even in the face of tragedy, Nigerians will create business. Absolutely. I'm waiting for the people who are going to make skits. By tomorrow, you start seeing skits all over social media. Nigerians have developed this capacity in the midst of mystery to laugh at themselves, to generate comedy. Don't be surprised if Gbenga Adeyinka or somebody, or any of them, Ali Baba, if they start making joke out of it. But the problem has to be dealt with, both on the long term and in the short run. The NIMET has said the situation will get worse, and we have been told to relocate to higher planes. Vimbai asked that question, how are we going to relocate? Is Lagos State government going to set up camps where people can go, and who is going to help the people who have lost their properties? But luckily enough, there has been no report that some people were swept away. Apart from the building that collapsed.
Building collapsed as well.
But in some other places where we've had flooding problems, people were swept away.
But you know what
it's as bad as that.
Is the fact that those miscreants also, I love the fact that security went in there to arrest those miscreants that were charging money, 100 Naira each, and they made that makeshift bridge under that trade fair complex. But we know that, the rains have cleared now. I am a witness to that. We have a video at Rufai from this very famous biker, right? He's always filming, and he filmed after the third mainland bridge was cleared.
The skit makers have started.
He's not a skit maker. He actually is not a skit maker, but it is, the rains have cleared, and it's good to see that, Lagosians can move about the street. A quick comment from you, Rufai.
He said it because he said they swung to action around 4 or 5. By around 9, 10, 11, most of the water had receded, but the parts that didn't recede on time around the Osaka, London area was because there was a blockage around the collection sites and all of that. But like I said, we must be able to use technology, hands-on AI, to be able to do it and also disseminate. Get a rack center where all your drainage channels. We don't have to tell you they are blocked. You can see on camera if they are blocked on there, and you can deploy a response action real quickly and collaborate with the media. And let's get a rack center. Like I was even telling Dr. Abati of the air, it doesn't even have to be a budget line item. If you go to all the tech companies, Microsoft and the likes in this country, I'll ask for international aid. They'll set up the computers for you. They'll set it up for you, and you just run the center. All you just need to provide is the space. And the good thing is also you can also use it for data planning. You can also use it to mine data and sell the data mined from it.
Yes, I love that point.
So there's a lot of ecosystem you can build from that.
I mean, flash floods occur everywhere around the world. I'm sure that you've experienced it in your country, Zimbabwe. But the management control is really what we need to put into action here. We'll take another story. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has denied meeting with Southeast governors over the issue of releasing the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention, but rather met with the governors to discuss issues of regional development. The former president disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday by his special assistant on media, Kehinde Akinyemi. The statement reads, "The regional development issues discussed include that of security and infrastructure. Others were economic and cooperative collaboration, which was meant to complement the national economic development agenda. The meeting with them was at my invitation and of Chief Emeka Anyoko. Before their summit began, the issue of Nnamdi Kanu was not on the agenda and was not discussed in my presence." I mean, I think that it is important that Olusegun Obasanjo here, our former president, has clarified that, because, I mean, what does it signal to you? Is it like he's trying to distance himself from that conversation? I mean, I think that he felt the need to clarify that he did not discuss the issue of agitation, secession, and Nnamdi Kanu.
I think if he wasn't there, he wasn't there. Whatever the
no,
issue
he was there.
Is,
he didn't discuss it.
He said, well, while the issue was, he said, if it was discussed, he was not there while it was being discussed. So that's important. Whatever the issue is, it's very important for him as a former president, a statesman, a thought leader. Very important for us to stick to the truth and the facts. So in this era of misinformation, disinformation, we know how Nnamdi Kanu is a very, very contentious issue at the moment. So incredibly important for us to ensure that we separate the truth from, the assumptions based on some conversations that may have happened in other areas.
Yes, I love that point that you just made, Vimbai. We'll take another story. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Wednesday encouraged parents and guardians to warn their wards against joining a planned protest by what it described as a shadowy group against its operations. The EFCC, in a statement by its spokesperson on Wednesday, said that the shadowy group has been actively campaigning on social media, recruiting young Nigerians, including students, to take up arms against the anti-graft agency. EFCC further claimed that the planned protest is aimed at resisting the operational activities of the Commission, especially in areas relating to cybercrime. The EFCC statement reads in part, "The Commission, while not adverse to protests by citizens, is alarmed by emerging evidence that suggests a grand design by corrupt elements under investigation or prosecution by the Commission to exploit the so-called protest to orchestrate a national uprising that may threaten the peace and security of our dear nation. As a responsible law enforcement organization, the Commission will not tolerate any breakdown of law and order anywhere in the country, especially around its office locations across Nigeria." The Commission, however, appeals to parents, guardians, and heads of tertiary institutions to take responsibility in ensuring their wards are not recruited to be used as cannon fodder in a proxy war against the Commission by vested corrupt interests. I mean, cannon fodder. This, of course, tweet has garnered a lot of reactions. Obviously, let me take some of them. This is from D, who wrote, "Have you guys turned into police? Why don't you let the police to handle civil matters if they want to protest? If they want to protest, they need to get permit from the police. After that, they have legal right to protest if they want. Nigeria is a democracy, and whoever wants to protest can do that within the law. Your job isn't to protect law and order. That's the duty of the police." While IPC Justice wrote, "The statement issued by EFCC suggesting that students might take up arms against them is serious and specific. Such assertions warrant clarity and should ideally be substantiated by concrete evidence or specific threats to justify the warning issued. Maintaining public safety requires a balanced approach that ensures transparency and accountability from law enforcement agencies to prevent unnecessary panic or confusion among the public." Well, Daniel Rega wrote, "EFCC has no business with stopping protests, and Nigerians have a right to call out the agency over repeated gross misconduct. Mind you, the public is still waiting on an update regarding the assaulted female staff of Regional Hotel, no names disclosed, But had it been civilians, their image will be posted across all major platforms. I loved Daniel Rega's tweet, Rufai, because of course, I believe that you guys discussed this woman when she was assaulted by EFCC officials. If we have that video, do you remember that story?
I remember.
Do you remember that story? And we are still waiting. We are still waiting for them.
There are still many things that they've not told us about the case of the woman. What about other people they go to bust and they don't have empirical facts, they just violate their rights? I mean, the EFCC does the most. Please, rather than coming to disturb Nigerians about their right to protest, on which they have, and which people have a right to protest, they should be able to protest. And it's not the people who have been protesting against the EFCC. They should go and face Yahya Bello before they talk about it.
You're going to come up with Yahya Bello, but they also said that they are working with security agencies as well, with this process. But are they the police, Dr. Abati?
This is the point.
That's the point, yes.
That statement by Dele Oyewale said they are going to work with sister security agencies. That's number one. Two, that statement again said a shadowy group. Now, we assume that they will have investigated to establish the identity of the group and that this is not scaremongering. Number three is the point they make that this is in relation to their, efforts to check cybercrime, which seem to fall within the purview of economic and financial crimes. The fourth point to be made is that the EFCC must also recognize that people have the constitutional right to protest.
Absolutely.
It is sacred. But they also say that the people who take up arms are threatening to take up arms against the EFCC. Well, you are not supposed to take up arms against any security officer, whether in uniform or not, because that will amount to a threat against the Nigerian state. So to the extent that these are the details, and they are telling parents and guardians, the EFCC is simply saying, warn your children, because we, the EFCC, we the beat you.
It's not even funny. How will we beat who? Why?
We had one person here on this program. Although that's a political figure. He was say, if you cross the line, we go beat you. So parents and guardians.
Unacceptable. Well, more on protest, Vimbai. In Edo State, students of the University of Benin on Wednesday tripped out in protest over incessant power outages in the institution's campuses. According to the students, the university was thrown into darkness following its inability to reach an agreement with the Benin Electricity Distribution Company over perceived contentions, electricity billing. Soldiers were seen in a viral video approaching the protesters who blocked the Benin-Ore highway. The right to protest. Right there we see our students out there protesting. I mean, that video was circulating. It appeared that the soldiers were called in, but while reading the comments and speaking with a few people, I believe that the soldiers were just passing by. I don't think that they were called to stop the protest because it is their fundamental right. A quick comment.
Very quickly, I think the protest in Kenya has definitely made people extremely anxious. And not just in Nigeria, across the African continent, we are seeing various countries getting jittery, concerned about what the young people, the Gen Zs, the TikTokers, because it showed what young people are capable of if they decide to stand united. Is it a reason to intimidate? Were the soldiers at the Uniben, were they just passing by and so forth? But this sign of brute force, whatever it is, there's no need for this show of force where university students are peacefully protesting. So if the disclaimer is that they happen to just be passing by, then so be it. However, it is very, very important for us to continue to respect the constitutional right to protest.
Absolutely. Rufai, quick sentence.
I mean, Ms. Vibaya Totally spot on. I think they were just passing by.
Yes.
And when you look at it, you'll see that there was a car at the back and there was just a convoy.
But you have to look at the trigger for that protest.
Right.
The Uniben students who went to the street, they're saying they have exams in 2 weeks' time. And the university has issues with the Benin disco. The electricity bill has gone from 80 million naira to 250 million naira. So they are rationing electricity for the students. So you have University of Benin, where I taught 85, 86, it's been a long time now. You know, being turned into a village where people are using a lantern to read. Yeah. So please, they should find a way to solve the problem of providing electricity for students who want to write exams.
I love that.
So that they don't fail if they cannot read.
That is why I thought it was very important to highlight this story. Well, in another development, the Senate has turned down a motion seeking an investigation into the alleged diversion of security funds to purchase a yacht and build universities. The motion, sponsored by Senator Adamso Shomole, was brought to the floor during deliberations on the recent bomb blast in Goza, Borno State. The lawmakers say it is time for the military to change its strategy against insurgency by deploying modern technology, and observe that relying on conventional methods alone, like deployment of troops, appeared not to be succeeding, as terrorists continue to use non-conventional approaches in killing Nigerians and destroying their means of livelihood.
Previous service chiefs diverted money to build universities in their various communities. Those are the kind of resources that should have been used to procure modern technology. And to think that money was being diverted to non-essentials. And as we speak, those institutions are not teaching anything about security. They are just another glorified university. I think that this House, having the power to appropriate, we should focus strictly on the items that the Army and the Air Force and other security agencies are going to spend the money to do. The black spots are free. What needs to be done can be achieved if the Nigerian Army are given specific instruction and attention and provided with what they need, particularly drones and other technologically driven gadgets, in order to get rid of these 3 black spots.
Well, I love that the lawmakers are out here talking about this completely horrific issue. And I agree with them. It's a failure on intelligence, and they need to deploy more technology, really.
I think what breaks my heart about how that particular conversation ended on the Senate floor is that the motion was rejected to further investigate some of the funds that they're saying, may have been allocated to yachts or building universities as opposed to invested in intelligence. So
but they need to invest more in intelligence. Well, all right, we'll take our final story. By congratulating Afrobeat singer and biker Joy Abid, who completed her solo ride from Kenya to Lagos on Sunday, June 30th. Abid, who hails from Edo State, began her journey from Kenya on March 10th, a journey many have described as a testament of her determination and sense of adventure. She relocated to Kenya from Lagos in search of new experiences only a few years ago, and has garnered a huge following online after she began her adventure. Posting videos about the journey, Abid narrated how she encountered quite a hassle with some immigration officers in Africa, especially in Angola, where she had visa challenges, and also how she almost got bitten by a snake in the forest of Tanzania. While speaking on her inspiration to embark on the journey, Abid stated that after encountering a near-death experience, she felt she was given a second chance to life and decided to do more than just live. Well, on June 30th, she became the first African woman to ever accomplish the solo ride from Kenya to Lagos within a 4-month period. Another Kwelumi, congratulations, Abid. Really huge feat that she has accomplished. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.